Hello, Tamily. It's time for interview 132, and our guest today will be Erica. Her Instagram name is For the Love of Tam, so make sure you're following her if you aren't already. We will be connecting with her in just a minute, but of course, we love to take questions live from the chat. So if you have any questions, type them in at any time, and we'll make sure to scroll through and ask all of them. And we will be getting started in just a minute. You'll be happy to know that my dogs are resting in their crates, so there won't be any barking this interview. And we are getting connected with Erica now. Hello.
Hi.
Thank you so much for joining us and being interview 132.
Woohoo! I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely.
This is really such an honor. I mean, there are so many impressive, incredible women in the Tamily. So it was really blown me away when I got your DM. I was like, what? Is this really happening to me? Oh my God, this is crazy.
We want to know all about you and your journey with the Tracy Anderson method. So, of course, we'll ask some questions live from the chat, but we can go ahead and get started with a couple of our planned questions.
Okay, cool.
So the first one is, when and how did you start doing the Tracy Anderson method?
So, I started the method in 2015, and at the time I was like committed to working out. I was doing like an hour of cardio a day, whether it be on like the stationary bike or the elliptical, or like a spin class here and there. And at the time my boys were about 4 years old, and I had gained about 70 pounds with the twins. So I had lost that weight and about 10 more pounds. And that was really important in my journey because it really gave me like a sense of confidence that I never had before. And it just made me sort of open my mind to the possibilities of what I could do, and just kind of made me look at myself a lot differently. So when I gained some of the weight back, as seems like I always do, in 2015, instead of just like trying to lose the weight again, I really had a bigger goal in mind. I really wanted to see if I could really change the way I looked and really stop, just stop thinking that I couldn't look a certain way or feel a certain way. And I just was like, I'm going to go for it. I'm like, I have nothing to lose, so why not just go for it? So I had known about Tracy from like living in Manhattan for years. I had heard about her studio and looked into it at one time. It was like so expensive. I was in my 20s when I looked into it. I was like, nope, can't afford that. But always sort of, she was always in the back of my mind. And of course, like, with her training Gwyneth and J-Lo, like that's obviously a little eye-catching. So so when I was wanting to do like this, take on this really big thing, I was like, oh, you know what? I'm going to go see what Tracy's up to. So I went online, and she'd recently put out Metamorphosis, and I just was reading up about it, and it just was like, this is exactly what I'm looking for. Like, it just made a lot of sense. I love that it was customized for your body type. I love that, you got a different DVD every 10 days back when we used DVDs. And, it just made sense. Like, why, of course your workout has to change. If you continually do the same thing every day, you're not going to get a different result. Mm-hmm. So it made a lot of sense for it to change every 10 days. I love that aspect of it. And then how she spoke about the smaller muscles, and how you can't, if you want to change the shape of your body and not bulk up, you need to go after those smaller muscles, and you can really only get at them. They're pretty tricky to get at. So you need to come at it from like from different angles and stuff. So when she was talking like that, I was like, oh my God, like this woman is brilliant. Okay. Like I need to do this. This is going to work for me. So I started my journey, and I quickly realized that I was like starting at ground zero. Despite like losing all this weight, like 80 pounds with the twins, like I was feeling great about myself. And then I was like completely humbled by this workout. I was like, holy shit. I'm like, I'm weak. Like I can't do this. Like this is such a challenge. So, but I stuck with it, and then like the dance cardio was like, I mean, I love to dance. I'm like the first one on the dance floor at like a wedding. Get a couple cocktails with me. I'm like, I'm fun on the dance floor. But this was not like dancing at a wedding. This was like I was bumping into the walls, into the treadmill. Like I was a disaster. But I do believe that we are meant to move to music, and I do love music, so I think that just kind of kept me going. But like shin splints were horrific. I mean, it was really, really hard. And so I finished the metamorphosis, and my journey was not like, bam, I see these great results. It was like, it was definitely slow for me. I just feel like because I was not an athletic kid, I really didn't have this like pedigree of being sporty and all that stuff. So this was really, really new to me. It was like going to preschool. Like I just like, it was like I really was coming at it from such a place where I just didn't really have much of a base. So it made sense that I didn't see these incredible results right away. And I had some weight to lose. So that was the other thing. So then I finished metamorphosis, and I was really happy with that. And then I went to do streaming, which was so fun. I miss those days. I miss all the girls in the class. And like, ooh, I like what she's wearing. I like what she's wearing. Claudia and Suri and the whole gang. Like I so miss that. But I guess it is easier to, figure out what she's doing, not having that, the other people in the class, but I so miss that. So, I mean, I love streaming so much, and I feel like it was years really of me trying to figure out how to move, like just to accomplish, just to get through the class, for a while I didn't even know you were supposed to point your toes. Like I really was like very slow learning. And then that was years. And then I finally was like, okay, I understand this. I can do this. And then it went to the best part of method, I think, which is being able to have that mind body connection. I just think I had used so much of my brain space to figure out these moves that I couldn't even make that connection yet. And I think that I was very disconnected from my body. I didn't really realize that I was, but I was kind of living outside of myself. And I think that comes from like really like a life of like some pain, like just from just being overweight, as a kid and having those struggles. And I really felt like disconnected from myself. And then, but when I started to make that connection, it felt so good. And, like when Tracy does, I really like, especially during the Vitality Weeks, I've done a couple of Vitality Weeks and we did one together. And I love when she sort of like holds her chest or like holds her stomach. And if you're not comfortable with yourself, and if you don't have that connection, that feels really, really uncomfortable. And so I was like, started to become aware of how uncomfortable I was. And then I started to really like go to that place, and it's such an interesting, and it's just a great journey to go on, to sort of get to know yourself, and to go, and when things are bothering you in life and you're going through a challenge or whatever it may be, and you have those little moments of clarity during your workout, and you're like, wow, oh my God, like that, I'm connecting this with this, and yay, boom, like exciting. So that was like, that's been the last few years of the method for me. And just actually recently, this past fall, I kind of took a break from posting my workouts because I just felt this need to just kind of sit with myself with the method. And I just didn't want that sort of distraction for me because I am so self-critical of the way I look. And I just didn't want that with me right now. And I just kind of sat with the method, and I really it was such I miss posting, but it was such a nice time for me to just sort of really find myself and really find what she was really going after as
Mhm.
far as like all the weight transfers and all like the little, I mean, there's so many little details in every single
Yeah.
move. And to get that is really hard. And so I really feel like I've come so far in just a few months with the method. And um yeah, so I just, and I'm seeing like a lot of really great results, even in just like 3 weeks. So that's really exciting for me. So
That's
it's been a
awesome.
journey, but it's been an awesome one. And I mean, I just thank the Lord above for Tracy and this community and the method. So
Well, it's always really good to know that, beyond like losing weight or what maybe your initial goals are, that you keep seeing results and progress in different ways, like no matter how many years you've been doing the method.
totally. I know that's what like, I feel like when you make that mind body connection, it stops becoming a job and to check the box, right?
Mhm. Yeah,
It's just part of who you are. It's like, my friends call it my religion, and it is, you know?
right. Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's always like kind of weird to say, but it's like that it really is about your whole physical self, mental self, and spiritual self to be involved in and, regularly performing this method.
totally.
So what would be your advice to someone who's new to the method and, they're nowhere near those kind of phases of the journey yet?
Um, just to be patient with yourself. And, luckily for me, I didn't know what I didn't know, until I knew it. So it's kind of like good in a way.
Mhm.
It's like, I mean, I feel like this, it's the journey, I would just say, stay connected with the people in the Tamily, find people that you connect with because they really do inspire you to keep on going and um, buy a few new pairs of leggings. That always helps.
Always.
Always, I think. Come on. And some hoops. We need our Tracy Anderson hoops,
That's
right?
true. That's true.
Which, you know what I want to come back? I loved when she was doing the braids. Remember
Yeah.
when she was doing the braids? I went and got braids one day to try to feel like her. I mean, we all try, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I know you've been to the studio and Vitality Weeks and stuff. How would you describe that experience to someone who hasn't experienced that aspect of the method yet?
um, I would say that Tracy has a real star quality. Like we're all sort of like the first day, we're all waiting patiently in the studio. Everybody's like trying to get their spot. They're like, like this, like, I'm getting this spot. I mean, it is like, whoa. I'm just like Erica from Boston. Like, just don't know anybody, especially the first one. I knew nobody because I didn't post and I wasn't part of the community yet.
Mhm.
So, but I would say that, then she like, we're all waiting and then she walks into the room and it's just like, she has that star quality. I mean, she's so petite, like most celebrities are. So, and then she starts moving and you're just staring at her in awe. You're like amongst greatness. You're like, oh my God, what is going on right now? So I just think like seeing Tracy perform the method is phenomenal. Like it is incredible. And if you can, and there's so many different amazing parts of the Vitality Weeks, um, meeting everybody and everything. But being in the studio with her and that energy and that damn heat and humidity, I mean, I'm like, thank God I can't get my room in my house that hot because I mean, puddles, right?
Mhm.
It's puddles. It's gross.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy. I could
But
use
it's
some of that sweating though right now. I mean, it's
serious.
like 10 degrees out.
Yeah, but it's so good for you. But it's like you really wonder, especially the first time for someone at a studio or a Vitality Week, like if you'll survive. And then so energizing to know you will survive and you'll keep doing it again, and then you'll never want to stop.
Yes, I know. I mean, I thought I was literally going to throw up. I mean, many a times I'm like wanting to go to the front to like being close to the back. So if I had to run out and throw up, I could.
Yeah, exactly. So how did you discover the Tamily, especially if you were doing the method and even went to a Vitality Week before like knowing about the Tamily on Instagram?
Well, I did follow Loretta.
Okay.
Because like she's Loretta, right? So I followed her, and then when my first friend that I met the first Vitality Week I did was Maggie Seelig, who TA_soul, and she kind of showed me the ropes. She's like, follow this person, follow this person, follow this person. This is how you create another Instagram page. Like she just knew everything. I was like, okay, all right, okay, that sounds good. And so she's from Boston as well. So on the ferry ride home, she was just like downloading me on everything. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to post. And then I realized like there was this huge community out there, and it was awesome. It was awesome. So.
Yeah, that is fantastic. It's
Yeah.
always interesting to me to talk to someone who didn't know about the Tamily and was already dedicated to the method. Because sometimes I think it takes the Tamily to like really pull people in.
Totally.
But for the people that did the DVDs and all that stuff before like being part of the community, that's what's really inspiring to me, because I couldn't get it together before I knew the Tamily was posting it.
Oh, really? So you knew about the Tamily and got connected that way?
That's like when it got really real for me. Before that, I was like, I know this is a great method. I know that I like it. I know that it works, but I just can't get myself to be consistent. And then, you know, the community, and now to me, the connections even more through the pandemic and everything have made it just that much more. Like, you know, everyone's out there doing it every day. There's Zoom workouts, there's all kinds of stuff going on. And it's just so much easier to really engage and not to just feel like it's just you with a DVD, which is to me so much harder to get motivated.
Totally. I couldn't agree anymore.
So what is something that you have learned from Tracy during your journey that you'd like to share with the Tamily?
I think the best thing I've learned from Tracy is really like how to feel comfortable with myself, and how to be with myself, and how to process things in such a clear way through her method. Mm-hmm. I would say that's what she really, taught me. And to feel good about yourself, and to be proud to be a woman and move those hips, work it. Don't be shy.
The things that seem awkward in the beginning, like
I know.
You'll do them and you'll post them on the internet. Like
Totally. I love when I do like a pelvic thrust when I'm at a hotel gym and guys are like, what the hell? And I'm like, I'm not single, boys. I'm just doing my method. I'm not trying to come on to you guys.
Oh, that's excellent. Have you faced any challenges in doing the method?
Yeah, totally. The weight distribution was a real challenge for me, where I overdeveloped my shoulders for a while, charged my neck up. I had some neck issues. I had wrist issues. I think that's a lot, but it's just, learning how to hold up your body and carry your body, and really, just finding that lightness, and that I feel like your body feels light when you are strong. And so it just takes time to get that strength to distribute everything the right way. But no, I think those were my struggles, definitely the physical ones.
Those are such important points. I think especially for new people that you really have to find that in yourself. You find the strength and the balance and how to move and how to hold your head. And people can tell you, Tracy can give us instructions and you can watch the breakdown, but it's really about finding it inside of you on your own.
That's such a good point. It's true. It's like you do need to find it yourself.
Yeah, and it just takes time to do that, but eventually it connects.
Right. Yeah. I know for a while I'm like, oh, well, maybe this is just how I'm built and it's always going to hurt, you know? Because it's like you don't know what you don't know, you know? And no, it's not supposed to. These people that are doing it, like, they're not superhuman. Like, they've just figured out how to, you know, to distribute their weight properly. And it's too bad because I really do feel like that is a hurdle of sticking with it. I was able to encourage one friend to do it, and she ended up not doing it anymore because she just had, you know, some issues, and it was it's too bad because it's such an incredible method, but it does take a while to find that distribution of weight. So
but that's such a good point too, though, because I think sometimes people are like, oh, I just can't handle that wrist pain, like I don't know how you deal with that. I'm like, it actually doesn't happen anymore after your wrist gets strong enough to be
totally,
yeah, positions. Like, it doesn't last forever. Shin splints don't last forever. Like, eventually your body builds strength in those tiny places that you don't think about, because, you know, other methods are not like specifically strengthening your shins and your wrists and your knees and your ankles, like,
yeah,
you know, but it happens. Like, every single part of you gets like stronger and more balanced, and, you know, it really is about full body engagement.
totally.
So what would be your advice, Erica, about someone who isn't new to the method, but they're not feeling motivated to work out?
Well, I always feel motivated for working out, but I sometimes don't feel motivated for keeping my food clean. So what I do when I want to try to stop, you know, devouring sweets at night is I look back at like photos of when I really felt like I had it together, you know? So I think that photos of yourself, a reminder that when you are disciplined and you do show up, you know, what you can look like. And, I don't know, again, buy a new pair of leggings. It's always
but that's such a good point about looking at pictures of yourself when you felt like the healthiest or at your best, not like looking at pictures of anyone else. Like,
you're like, it's possible.
About you.
You did it.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. What would you say is your favorite aspect of the method?
Definitely like being able to make that mind-body connection for myself. Definitely.
And so prior to the method, I think you said like you did running, treadmill, that kind of stuff. I mean, to me, those sort of things, they never have a connection in that way. So is that something that really stood out for you as far as staying with the method?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's when I wouldn't say it's a workout anymore, you know, like it's just part of who I am and what I do, which is so nice because, you know, how many girlfriends do you know that is like, oh, I have to work out today. I got to get it in. I got to get it in. And I remember that feeling like, oh God, it's 10 o'clock. I don't want to work out. I've got my workout clothes on, but you know, it's just, there's so much mental energy that goes into that. And when you don't have that in your life anymore, you're like, thank the Lord, you know? And it's really when you've engaged that mind and you go through that every day, it just becomes addictive. And there's something addictive where like, because she changes the workout every 7 days, where it's just like, you know, she breaks you down and you build yourself up. And it's like, you kind of get addicted to that process. Where it's like Wednesday, you're like, I nailed it. Yeah. And then Thursday, you're like, oh my God, please, is she going to give us something that we can't do? Please don't do the headstand. Please don't do the headstand. I hate the headstand. And so that whole process of being nervous but excited, and then you're like, and you get through the class, you're like, okay, all right, I did it. You know, I missed a lot, but whatever. And then, you know, you just get better and better. I feel like that process is addictive and
Totally.
Just feels good.
And I think it's something that like it points out that we're all the same. Like every week it's a new workout and the first day is tough. Like it's not like if you do the workout for 5 years, you go into it and it's easy on the first day. Like everyone is kind of in the same bucket.
Totally. Which I don't know how she does that. You know, like how does she make it difficult every single week?
It's crazy.
It's so crazy. Like people are like, well,
is.
you've been doing it for years. Like, why is it still hard? And I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm moving my arm in a way I've never moved my arm before. Like I'm like, how do you come up with this stuff? She's amazing.
And sometimes like this week with the heavy weights with the chain, I'm like, I don't even know if I'm getting the angles. Like, what? Like, it just like, I'm so surprised that at this point I'm still struggling to get the angle with my foot right. You know what I mean? I'm just like, my knee wants to twist out or do something. I'm like, yes. Erica, you've been doing it for almost 7 years. Why is this still a struggle?
Right.
But somehow it is. I don't know. It's hard every week.
We'll get there eventually, I guess.
I guess.
Be new every week. We have a question in the chat from Schultze Tam, and she would like to know, what is your morning routine?
Well, I don't love waking up early, but I love doing my method in the morning. So I don't like to see anybody before I do the method. I wake up at 5:30, I run to Starbucks, get my Trenta iced coffee, which I love coffee. So that makes me happy. So I do my, and then I do my workout from 6 o'clock to 7:15. And then I get my boys ready for school and we're off. And, you know, it just feels so good to get that done. And then I've recently, since the pandemic hit, I started doing meditating and using that app Headspace. And, cause I felt like my sleep started to get really disrupted. And I took every like natural pill that you could take, you know, to try to sleep at night. And then I was like, you know what? I don't even like taking pills of any sort. So I'm like, let me try this meditation thing. Everybody talks about it. So meditation is part of my morning. I usually come home and I try to meditate for 10 minutes with the Headspace app. And then I start my day and go to work. So.
Excellent. So for your routine, like, do you always pretty much do attain, or do you ever mix an intermediate or start? And what's your dance cardio routine?
Lately I've just kind of stuck with attain. I love that natural build. I know a lot of people like to bebop around and try different things. I don't know. I'm a creature of habit. I just love that, like, okay, I don't really get it, then I get it better, you know, like what we're talking about. So I don't like to mix in an intermediate, even though she says you can, and everybody talks like, oh, like, I mean, intermediate and attain are really like, they're very interchangeable. So, but I do like to stick with attain just because I like to stick with one thing and see that progression. And then I'll add on the cardio. Like today, like I got a breast lift, which I was psyched about. And I haven't been able to do the cardio for a while. So today was my second day of doing it. Oh. And it was I did the 12 days, the free, like the free thing that Tracy gave us. So added on like 20 minutes, but it's hard to get back into the dance cardio. I mean, my calves are like tight, like, so I love it and it's fun for me, but that is, I don't know, it's hard to get it in, but I do try to, because I love that extra calorie burn.
Yeah, and if you do spend any time away from it, it's like going back to the beginning.
Yes!
You build it back quickly, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, just kind of if you keep, even if it's a few minutes, it's easier than no minutes at all for a long time, and then trying to do like 20 or 30 it is tough.
Yeah. I know. I kept on looking at the time. I'm like, only 15. It feels like it was 30. Come on.
Yeah. I think that's the most athletic part about the method. I'm just amazed with the people that can do.
Oh my God. It's unbelievable.
Catapult or I forget which one is which, but whatever the more difficult one is for an hour, like, no way.
Oh my God. They must be like a butterfly. They must just float on air. I don't know. I really want to get the floor one of these days. I mean, it just,
a huge difference.
it looks like it does. So
yeah,
that would really obligate me to do it a lot.
That's
do the
true.
disc. I'm like, I don't know, because if I get it, then I really have to do it a lot.
That's true. But it could be a motivating factor.
It could. It could.
So what do your friends and family think of the method and your devotion to it?
I mean, I'm in a house of boys, so my husband is a total like dude, and my boys are total dudes. So they love to poke fun of me. But you know, I think that I do set a great example to the boys for my dedication and how it's just been a part of my life. Like I know that I looked up to my dad as a girl, how he always spent an hour every day getting hot and sweaty and getting that, you know, exercise in. Mm-hmm. So I think that they, you know, even though they poke fun of me, I think they do really support it. And my sister's very supportive, and all my close friends are supportive. And I'm trying to get one of them to do it, you know, so I have somebody, you know, close to me that does the method. But it's a huge commitment. I get it. You know, I had to find myself in a special place to take on that, you know, challenge. So I do understand, but
yeah,
we need more people in our community.
It has to be the right time for everyone, but
totally.
I always tell people, if you just start, like, then, you know, you might know if it's the right time for you, but it's tough.
I know.
We have a question in the chat from Nicole. She says, do you feel like you connect more with a certain trainer's dance style, like for the dance cardio? Is there anyone you prefer?
I think Madison is pretty darn adorable. I mean, she's so cute. I can't even handle it. I don't know how young she is, but I wish I was her age. That fullness. Oh, she's just so pretty. Mm-hmm. So I love the one where she did it like a few months ago, maybe 4 months ago, mm-hmm. where she put all the new dance moves together.
Okay.
I don't know. I just love that one. It was like, I think right after they were in Florida or in Florida. I don't know. So I love Madison recently, and I'm liking the one that Tracy's doing that she gifted us for Christmas, and then Courtney. I mean, she's got some sass.
Yes.
Before it was so great when we had like the better. Hate to say better music. That's mean, but like the more popular music. Because I remember there was one dance that Courtney did with Salt and Pepper. And I was like, the push it one. Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, you got me. I don't care if this hurts. You got me with this song. So I'm in. So I love Courtney and Madison and Lashana. If I want it seems like she does things that are a little slightly easier. It's all difficult, but choreography, I mean, I've got like 2 left feet. It takes me a while. Like, I'm like, are these people, are they just spending a lot of time with it, or am I just really that bad? Like, because when I'm practicing for months, I still look like it was my second time. So when I see like Cassie, like nailing it, Loretta, all these women, I'm just like, whoa. I'm like, I got a long way to go.
They are amazing. I just always tell myself, even if I'm like struggling through it, it's got the calorie burn, so it doesn't really matter if I do it.
Totally. I just got an Apple Watch, and I'm like, oh my God, 162. Like, that's where my heart rate is at. I'm like, yeah, I don't care.
Right.
I don't care if I'm not even doing the dance. I'm just flailing. I don't care. Burn those calories so I can have a dessert tonight.
Mm-hmm. Who would you say inspires you from the Tamily?
Well, I would have to say that everybody, I mean, just like every time I go to Instagram, I'm inspired, and it doesn't matter who it is. I just love when people share parts of their life. I find that really inspiring, and it just like, I love when people are just honest and just are vulnerable. I think that's really inspiring. But the people that I seem to connect with the most would be, I mean, Maggie doesn't post that much right now, but I love Maggie's posts. And I think Hannah is such a sweet, sweet woman. And I just love how she seems like she's so selfless. She's always supporting everybody, and she doesn't post that much, it doesn't seem. But she's always, saying something sweet to me, something sweet to everyone. And I just think that's incredible. Suri is like, I mean, I don't know how she does it, but she seems to like everything that everybody does, which is she's such a busy woman. I don't know how she does it all. So, but Kim lives in Boston, so I love watching Kim. And who else do I love? Oh my God, Ariel Mama.
Oh yeah.
The pole dancing, that's inspiring. And I don't know. I mean, Kim and everybody. There's so many incredible women. So yeah, the list goes on and on. Emily. Oh my God, Emily. I love Emily. So.
Well, we have a question from Emily in the chat.
No way!
Her. She said she would like you to tell us about your music career.
Oh my goodness. I must have shared. Yeah, I probably did share it because I am proud of the fact. I feel like, I'm not like a dorky mom. I've got like, music background. So that's like a cool factor for me and my boys at least. But yeah, so that's what I wanted to do. That's what I wanted to be. I wanted to be like Sheryl Crow or Gwen Stefani. So I lived in New York for many years pursuing that career. And I put out a few records, and you can still buy it actually on iTunes. And yeah, it was a really fun part of my life. It just was kind of funny. When I finally put out the record that I really wanted to put out, I was kind of realized I was 27, and I just kind of realized that I didn't want a life like, even if the best case scenario, which is I became famous and I had a great career, like I just didn't want to be on the road all the time. And I wanted a family. I just kind of realized what was important to me, and that career wasn't aligned with what was important to me. So I decided to give it up. But my nephews, my sister just told me that my nephews love to listen to the music, and it's just nice, my friends know about it, and it is nice to go back and listen to it. I do love music, and my neighbor is building a pretty killer basement studio, and it's like stage and this crazy basement situation, and he's like, we have to party, you have to be the singer, and I'll be, I'll play the guitar, and so maybe I'll live those days again sometime soon.
Yeah, awesome.
But yeah, no, it was fun.
Well, we'll have to look on iTunes for your music.
It's under my maiden name, which is Cashman, so Erica Cashman.
Okay.
So
what a cool rocker name that is.
I know. I'm like, why did I have to give it up? It's actually still my email, like Erica Cashman at Yahoo. So, yeah. So I still kept it, but yeah, I've always like my married name. I have to spell it out, and it's not as cool as Cashman.
Yeah, Cashman.
Money and man. The two things I love: money and men.
So we have another question in the chat for you from Kylie. She said you recommended buying leggings. What kind is your favorite for the method?
Oh man, I mean, do you have an hour? Well, I have to give a shout out to Christina. I mean, who doesn't love for the love of rock stars? I mean, the animal print leggings I like friggin' adore. I love the Kim_Tamily turned me on to the Heroin Sport. I call it like my disco leggings. They just like glow like a disco ball. I got them in like blue, pink, and gold. I love those pants. I love the Years of Ours ones with like the lace up, like they lace up like a football. I think those are cool. I like Nux for like tops and stuff. Like I love the Free People
Mm-hmm.
tops, and I love the heroin sport, the bod the body suits,
Mm-hmm.
and then recently, like, love, I mean, I copy everything Tracy does. Like, these are not unique ideas I'm having right now. But the Skims bodysuit
Mm-hmm.
that sucks it all in. And I'm such a stalker that I'm like, what, like, she's actually sewn it in a way that is like made it look like the cleavage and everything look better. So I'm
Uh-huh.
like, well, I need to go do that. Like, cause it doesn't look as good without doing that. So, I mean, I take it to a whole other level, like single white female style with,
Yeah,
copying Tracy and her fashion. Cause it's pretty
it
on
is.
point.
It is.
So,
She always looks so phenomenal.
I know. I'm so happy that they post what she wears, and,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, that makes it so much more fun. Of course, I put a lot of things in my cart I never buy, but
well, we'd all be broke if we bought everything
oh,
we
for
put in our
sure.
cart.
Um, okay, let's go back to some of our planned questions. Um, you've talked about this a little bit, but can you tell us where you live and what you do?
Sure. I live south of Boston in a town called Hingham, and I work in real estate. I manage a large industrial property. My family is in heavy civil construction, and so they are one of my larger tenants at it's a shipyard. This industrial property is a shipyard, and we have like tenants like the New England Aquarium, and
Oh,
like which is cool, and General Dynamics, who owns like a robotics company,
mm-hmm.
and we have like a salt company that imports salt from South America, and then my father runs his company out of it, and he was just dredging Boston Harbor.
Oh, wow.
So it's fun. It's not the best place to be right now. It's really cold on the water in Boston, but yeah. So I help manage that. But I do that, especially right now with the kids and stuff and what's going on. I do pride myself on being home a lot with the kids. So,
Yeah,
which, this job allows me to do that. So I feel very fortunate.
yeah,
So,
yeah, definitely. Especially going through everything that is happened in the last year and is now still continuing in 2021.
I know.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
What would you say is something that you're most proud of personally or professionally that you would like to share?
Um, I would probably say that my children, I think, are growing up to be, just very thoughtful and sweet kids that really care about other people's feelings. Despite being like the dudes they are that love football and lacrosse, they're very empathetic to people in a way that is really inspiring. So I think that putting two people on this earth that are like that makes me feel like I did something right. So I would say that my kids and, having a nice relationship with my husband and is, it's a lot of work to have a good marriage. So I'm proud of that. And, yeah, I don't know. I'm going to pick personal instead of work.
Yeah. No, they're the
It seems like that's all that's around me right now is my family.
positives. If you could go back in time and talk to your 20-year-old self, what would you say to her?
Oh, goodness. You know what? To be completely honest, I was really nervous I wasn't going to get married. I really was. I was really nervous I wasn't going to get married and find somebody. And so I spent a lot of my 20s sort of searching for, like, just, being in relationships just to be in relationships, just to have somebody and just to be on that path of possibly getting married. I don't know. I was scared I wasn't going to get married. So I would say, you know what? Stop worrying about that and enjoy your life and stay true to who you are, and don't try to be something just to be with somebody. Be who you are. I would just say stay firm in who you are, focus on being a good person, and and bettering yourself, and stop worrying about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's probably good advice for every 20-year-old.
Yeah, I just think of like my bad decisions as a 20-year-old, drinking too much, partying too much, dating the wrong people. And yeah, so I don't know. Seems silly, but that's what I would tell her. Just chill out. You're going to get married. You'll have kids. There's plenty of time for that.
Yep. Yep. And start doing the method.
Start doing the method. Yes.
What is something that you can do now that you couldn't do before you started the method?
You know what? I'm loving right now that we're doing the back bends, because I remember, like, as a kid, I could do a bridge. Like the bridge was like what you did as like a teenage girl, you could do a bridge. And then I became suddenly scared to do the bridge because I couldn't get out of it. I was like, oh my God. Like, and then you just like fall on your back. You're like, oh my God, why did I try to do a bridge? I can't do it anymore. So feeling like finding that confidence that you're not going to kill yourself, that you can do a bridge, you can do a back bend, and like, you're not going to die. So I would say finding that confidence in that move made me feel good, and something I could do now that I really was scared to do before.
Yeah, that's an excellent point, because like, I think when Tracy does, things even like the headstand and stuff, she's like, it's more mental than it is physical. Like, you have the strength and the balance. It's your brain telling you that, like, it's dangerous to be upside down.
I know. I still try to get up on my head, but I'm just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Can you do one?
I can, like, get my legs up bent, but I can't. And honestly, I really think it's true what Tracy says. I probably can straighten my legs and do it fully, but I just never have. And I was shocked that I could get my leg, like, raise my knees off of my elbows or whatever and be able to get even to that level. I don't know. I should keep trying it and just do it, because it's just a mental block. I know it is.
I feel like it's a physical one for me, but I don't know.
I don't know. If you can do a tane every day, I'm sure that you can do a headstand.
Yeah, I think I need somebody to like physically show me. I think I must be doing it wrong.
Well, I think actually a lot of Tamily give good tips for that, but I think Aerial Mama gives the best tips about headstands. She posted something a long time ago that I followed.
Well, I always love a good Aerial Mama post, so I wouldn't mind spending a little time on her page.
Definitely. Well, we are coming up on our last few minutes, so if anyone has any other questions, please type them in the chat, and then I'm going to ask you a couple more of our planned questions. What would you say is most important to you to maintain balance in your life?
Then, doing the method for sure, and then definitely meditating now, and making lists for myself. I find like if I don't write things down, I just get really just stressed and, unfocused and overwhelmed. So I would say lists.
Yeah, that makes sense. Definitely. Letting it swirl around in your mind isn't good.
Not good. No bueno.
Right. Especially not for all the type A's that do methods. So.
I know. Luckily, I'm not one, but not luckily, but I actually wish I probably was one. Get more done.
Well, there's positives and negatives to everything.
Yeah.
Who would you like to see interviewed in a future Ask Tamily interview?
I was thinking about this. Definitely Maggie, and then Claudia.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yes. We will have to ask her.
I mean, I love fashion, so I like just, love going on, seeing her stories and seeing what she's wearing. I'm like, where do you find these clothes? Like, it's so good. She puts these things together that I never would have thought to put together. So
totally agree. Definitely, we can ask her. What has been some advice that you've gotten from someone in the Tamily which has been important to you?
I can't think of any. Sure, I have gotten advice, but I just can't think of anything right now. But I just think their constant, support, has just been instrumental in my progress. So.
Absolutely. Definitely. I don't know where any of us would be without the Tamily.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see what my last question for you will be. Do you have a motivational quote that you would like to share with the Tamily?
No, I don't. Because I have like a really bad memory. And I hear great quotes all the time. I'm like, oh my God, that's so good. But I will never remember them. So I would just say that, my philosophy in life is just be honest. I just think just being honest is it's so fun when someone's honest. When somebody's closed off, I find that boring. So I say, be honest because it's fun and it feels good, and be kind and work hard. So
Absolutely.
that's my little motivation, not a quote, but it's a little philosophy. So
yeah, it's fitting for life and it's fitting for the method.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for interviewing with us today, Erica. It's been super fun.
I know, it has been fun.
And,
now I can go eat cake for my mom's birthday.
Absolutely.
And have a cocktail.
Or a couple. So your interview right now will go onto the Ask Tamily page, and then it will be on YouTube in a few days, forever and ever.
Woo! Yay! Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for being interview 132.
Woo! I love it. Love it. Actually, I was going to say, no, my son's number is 31 in football. So I was trying to make that connection, but never mind. It's my number now, 132.
Right.
Well, take care.
Absolutely. Thanks for watching, Tamily.
Bye.
Bye.